Assalamu alaikum listeners, welcome to Spinoff. This is your RJ Faisal Ilyas. Eid Mubarak to all of you. I hope you guys are having a good Eid. Pakistan also had their good last game. They won the game against Ireland, and we have seen that a lot of senior players, not just Pakistani senior players, but international players have also to say a lot about Pakistani team, because this has been the worst T20 World Cup that Pakistan has, because we only managed to win against Ireland and Canada. We lost to USA, we lost to India badly, and we are out of the tournament. And also yesterday, 2 games for the Group D also were played, whereby Bangladesh makes it to the Super 8, and the Super 8 teams have been finalized. We'll tell you as to which 8 teams have made it to the next round, but the campaign for Pakistani team is over, and I know we all are very disappointed. But the thing to worry about is that we have seen that international players are talking about Babar Azam and some of the players in the team, and when we talk about Indian players, they might be a little biased about the players, but people like Michael Vaughan and some other international players who always give their genuine comments about different players, they also had to say that Babar Azam and some of the players in the team might not be the good players for T20 cricket, and if they had to fight for their place in big teams like Australia, England, even India, they would not make it to those teams. And they were talking about not anybody else but Babar Azam. So we'll talk about Babar Azam's T20 records and Babar Azam's T20 performance, especially in ICC tournaments, because Babar as captain has failed in 5 major tournaments of ICC, and he also is the captain for the last 5 years. One of the longest run that he's got as a captain. He was terminated from the captaincy after the 2023 50 over World Cup, but he became the captain again, and his performance in this World Cup has also not been great. So we'll talk about all of this. We'll talk about the game between Ireland and Pakistan, which was played at Lauderhill after 2 washout games, which was also one of the reasons why Pakistan is out of this tournament. We spoke about a lot of international players, talking about our players, especially Babar and some of the other players, and all of these guys have to say that some of the top players that we have will not make it to the international sides like Australia and England, which is a worrying sign, which also points out that we don't have the skill set, which had never been the case for Pakistan cricket, that we did not have the skill set. It was always about our discipline, our players playing as a team, but now it has come down to the skills, that we are not good enough to be playing in big tournaments like this. So we have to think about it. We have to correct a lot of things at grassroots level. You guys can also tell us as to what you think about some of the comments that Virender Sehwag has made, some of the comments that Michael Vaughan has made, and all of them have to say that Pakistan is lacking on skill set as well. So we'll now talk about the game that was played yesterday between Pakistan and Ireland. Pakistan managed to win this game by 3 wickets and 7 balls to spare, but again this performance was not the performance where a full member side, which has been one of the best sides playing against relatively low side in terms of ICC rankings, Ireland, but we managed to win this game and we finished the campaign by a win, but a lot of things to get corrected when it comes to Pakistan side, because we have seen that even in yesterday's game, at one point Ireland was 32 for 6, but then we allowed them to score 106 for 9, which is again something that we have to control as a team, because and on this kind of a performance, Shoaib Malik also had a lot of the comments about Babar's captaincy, because he had to say that this is how Babar has been since the beginning when he became captain in 2019, that whenever he has the game in control, he doesn't go for the kill. He allows the other team to get into the game, and we saw that in yesterday's game as well, that Ireland managed to score 106 for 9, and we have seen that in these kind of grounds, once a team crosses 100, the chasing team has difficulties in chasing down, and we saw that Pakistan struggled in chasing this total. We'll further talk about how Pakistani bowlers bowled and how batting was lackluster in this kind of a chase as well. So we have received a lot of messages from you guys. Some of the guys are saying that I am criticizing Babar a lot and I should not do it because he's the captain and he is going to remain the captain till Champions Trophy. You guys are right. I am criticizing Babar, but the only reason I am doing it is based on the stats that we have. His performances as a captain, his performances as a top batter for Pakistan, and are all inching me towards all of this criticism that I am doing. And why I'm saying that his stats are not that great, because he's not been man of the match in any of ICC T20 games in which he has been the captain for Pakistan. And you all know that he has represented Pakistan as a captain for the third time this time round, but he has never been a man of the match. And also because as a captain, it's not just that you have to play your own game, you have to plan the entire team's performance. If you look at one of his statements yesterday, he had to say that there are 11 players in the team and all of them have their given roles. I cannot go and perform those roles for them. So as a captain, this kind of statement doesn't make sense, because you are responsible for all of the 11 or the 15 team squad that's with you. And in terms of captaincy, you are also supposed to develop team into different departments. So you need to have your middle order very solid for a tournament like this, because if you have any weakness, that's going to get exposed in a tournament like this. And we also saw that some of the guys have also messaged this also, that Abrar did not get the chance to play in a dead rubber like this also. That is also a correct statement to make, because we were all expecting Abrar to play in place of Shadab, because Babar is also criticized for being very friendly with some of the players, and this friendship cannot be beyond the national duties, because if you think that some of the players do not make it to the team because of their form, because of their fitness, because of their given role, you have to play without those players. But we have seen that Babar doesn't do it, and Abrar, you guys are right, Abrar didn't get to play even yesterday also. And some of the messages are very technically correct. One of you guys had to say that Pakistan even yesterday got to win the game only because Shaheen Shah managed to hit two sixes in the end, and Abbas Afridi also hit a six in the later stage of the game. And at one point, Pakistan, when 4 or 5 wickets fell very quickly, Pakistan was under pressure, and we saw that even Babar could not hit boundaries and he had to rely on single doubles. And one of the guys also messaged very interestingly that Babar had to give the strike to the low order batters rather than playing it himself. This also is a good statement to make, because as a frontline batter, you are supposed to finish the games, but we have seen that it's not Babar's game. And when I was talking about some of the foreign players making statements about Babar Azam, one of the English player also said that Babar's way of playing does not allow him to play aerial shots, and in T20 this is the requirement, because if you have to hit sixes, you have to go aerial. And he also went on to say that Babar plays very safe because he plays all of his shots on the ground. We'll now come back to the game between Pakistan and Ireland, where you have a lot of comments to make, and you guys are also right that because of Abbas Afridi and Shaheen Shah's later onslaught, Pakistan could win this game by 3 wickets and with 7 balls to spare. And with the first inning where we allowed Ireland to score so many runs after they were down and under with 32 for 6, the captaincy again comes under a lot of questions. Like I said, Shoaib Malik had to say that Babar Azam has not improved in his captaincy, and he allows the other team to come back into the game, and we saw this to happen yesterday as well. But when Pakistan was batting, Pakistan was also 52 for 2, and we were cruising, but we saw that middle order collapsed again, and we have seen this in this tournament so many times. 1 wicket falls and we see that a lot of other players who come and go without contributing towards the scores. So it eventually came down to 6 wickets very quickly. Then Abbas Afridi hit couple of sixes, and Shaheen Shah Afridi finished the game for Pakistan. Babar was the top scorer in the game with 32 of 34. Saim Ayub and Rizwan, both of them, the openers, scored 17 each. Abbas Afridi scored 17 good runs, and Shaheen Afridi 13 of 5. A lot of people have also sent messages on Shaheen Shah Afridi's performance yesterday. He was the man of the match, and some of the people are saying that Shaheen Shah eventually started performing because he knew that this performance is not going to help Pakistan. It's only going to help Shaheen Shah Afridi to become the captain again. You guys might be right, because I also noticed some of the points, because he was stretching before the game, which we did not see even against the Indian game, because that game was the most important one. And also, technically speaking, he pitched his ball on the off stump and even away from off stump, which is mandatory for a left arm to do if his ball is coming into the right hander. We saw the first wicket. When the first wicket fell, his ball was a spot on, and when we saw his bowling against India, he was pitching on the leg stump and on the middle stump. If it's pitched on the middle stump and leg stump, it becomes easier for the right hander to hit the bowler, and we saw that Rohit Sharma managed to hit Shaheen Shah Afridi for a 6 in the first over of the game against India in the India-Pakistan game. So technically, you guys are again absolutely right that Shaheen Shah Afridi's performance was of no use for Pakistan, but we can't say that this performance was only for his own good, but can't deny this fact, because as a bowler you have to do the warm-ups and you have to be ready for a big game, and we saw that this thing was only visible in yesterday's game from Shaheen Shah Afridi. So this game is done and dusted. Pakistan won this game and finished the campaign on a high, we can say it, but for the next T20 World Cup, Pakistan will have to play the qualifiers, the Asian qualifiers, to qualify to be one of the teams in the next T20 World Cup, which is the biggest low for the Pakistan team, and we have not seen this before. So this is how our World Cup has gone this time round. Now we'll move our focus towards the game from Group D. There were actually 2 games played whereby Bangladesh has qualified for the next round. First, they beat Nepal by 21 runs. Eventually, this game came down to became to be a very close encounter, because Nepal only scored the runs whereby Bangladesh won the game by 21 runs. In this game, Nepal won the toss and they elected to bowl first, and Bangladesh got out for just 106 runs in 19.3 overs. And at the halfway stage, we saw that Nepal was thinking that this score is very chaseable for them, but it wasn't to be. And by this game, Bangladesh had to win this game to qualify for the next round. So Bangladesh bowlers did a great job, and we saw the man of the match, Tanzim Hassan. He actually managed to win this game for Bangladesh. He took 4 wickets, conceding just 7 runs. So when we look at all of these teams, we see that their bowlers are making these teams to win. Unlike Pakistan, where we saw that in the important games, our bowlers did not do well. We've already spoken in detail about Shaheen Shah Afridi. We saw that Mohammad Amir falter in the power play over against USA, which is the reason why we are out of this tournament. So coming back to this game, Shakib Al Hasan again was the top scorer for Bangladesh. He scored only 17, but that was the top score for Bangladesh because only 106 runs were scored, and these 106 were also enough to win for Bangladesh. They managed to bowl out Nepal for just 85 in 19.3 overs. So another game where very low runs were scored, but Bangladesh won the game, and this game was important for them to qualify for the next stage. Another game in Group D was played between Netherlands and Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka finally managed to win a game in this year's T20 World Cup. Similar kind of performance for Sri Lanka, just like Pakistan, but they also managed to win this game and finish the T20 World Cup on a high, and they will also have to play qualifiers to qualify for the T20 World Cup that will happen next. If we talk about this game, Sri Lanka managed to score 201 runs and they lost 6 wickets. So finally a game where we saw big score and a score surpassing 200 runs. Sri Lanka finished their campaign without qualifying for the next stage, and they will also have to play the qualifiers in Asia to qualify for the next T20 World Cup, just like Pakistan. If we talk about this game, Sri Lanka managed to score 201 runs off 6 wickets, and their man of the match performer Asalanka scored the highest runs in the game with 46 in just 21 deliveries. Kusal Mendes also scored 46 of 29. So overall, good batting performance from Sri Lanka, whereby they could score 201 by losing just 6 wickets. And from Netherlands, Van Beek took 2 wickets and he conceded 45 runs. Kingma took 1 wicket and he conceded 23 runs. So overall, Netherlands in first time we have seen them struggle in this tournament, because they played good games against Bangladesh, against South Africa, but last game of this tournament they were not there, and because of this loss they also go out of this World Cup. Otherwise they had the chance, had they won this game with a good net run rate, and had Bangladesh lost the game against Nepal, which was a very close game by the way, they could have qualified for the next round. But with these 2 games, the Group D has also closed down, and I will tell you as to what 4 teams in each of the next groups. Now Group 1 and Group 2 have been established, which 4 teams in each group have been qualified. For Group 1, it's India, Australia, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. So this group has 3 Asian teams, South Asian teams, and all of them will be competing against Australia. So from this group, 2 teams will qualify for the semi-finals, and in the Group 2 there is USA, England, West Indies and South Africa. These 4 teams will fight against each other for the 2 spots, and the 2 top teams from this group also will play against Group 1's top 2 teams in the semi-finals. So the business area of the T20 World Cup 2024 is going to start, and a lot of games to comes in the upcoming days. But still, New Zealand has to play against Papua New Guinea tonight at 7:30 p.m. This is a dead rubber game. It's not going to have any impact on the groups that have already been created, but there is an exciting game to come which also will have no impact on the next stage of the tournament. West Indies play against Afghanistan. Why I'm saying this is exciting game, because both of these 2 teams have qualified for the next round, and both of these teams are on the verge of winning every game, because both of them have won all their 3 games. So it will be an exciting fighting game which will be played tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. in St. Lucia. So like I said, it's business time in ICC Men's T20 World Cup, but Pakistani fans are very disappointed because our team has not made it to the next round. But we expect things to get better for Pakistan, because our PCB chairman has already pointed out that a lot of cleaning will be taking place, and we hope that things get right from the basics, and people who are performing at the domestic levels get the chance to play for Pakistan, and the selection, the support team that we have, a lot of things to get cleaned up and get corrected. And when there is such a low, there is always the next step is always a high. So we hope that Pakistan team will come back to its normal and things will be better from here on. Time for me now to say goodbye to all of you. Again, Eid Mubarak to all of you, and with this hope that we keep our surroundings clean, I'll say goodbye. I'll see you day after tomorrow on City FM 89. See you day after tomorrow.